Hello everyone and welcome to Coffee with Ceri. Now, if you've not done Coffee with Ceri before, basically I choose a topic, not religious, not confrontational, not political, I steer away from those, and I put my perception or my view of it, however it's come across my path, basically, whether it's social media, conversations, questions, whatever. And basically, I'm not here to offend. I'm here just to maybe start a conversation with someone, maybe plant a seed for an idea, maybe add a question that you in yourself will ask a relative or a friend, or the next time you're out for coffee, maybe you go, did you see Kerry Griffiths the other day? He asked, blah, 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 blah. What do you think of that? I hadn't thought about that. That sort of stuff. So it gives you a bit, oh, that's nice. So, today's topic is one I hadn't thought about. But when it was mentioned to me, I really did think about it and went, oh, I didn't realize I was doing that. Now, this topic comes from one of my subscribers who commented on one of my videos, and I believe it was Andrew. Won't go into any further detail because I don't have permission to share that with you, and I swear it was Andrew. And he raised a question and said, oh, Ceri, can you do this and ask Ceri? Which is a video that I do where I answer questions. And I went back and went, no, actually, I'd rather do it as a coffee with Ceri. And he was like, yep, go ahead and do it. And it sparked a few thoughts with me along the way. So the question, well, no, let's set this up first. From what I can glean from Andrew's comment, Andrew is enjoying his journey of going out and doing rural sketches and being in exterior locations, capturing imagery and inspiration as part of his creative journey. And his question to me was, Ceri, have you ever done that? And I was like, no, I haven't. And then it prompted me to ask myself, why haven't I done that? Now, I personally think it's probably the fear of being judged. I do not feel comfortable being out there with a sketch pad or even my camera. Like, I mean, many of you asked to see more of Cardiff and the sights and that, and it is something I'm planning to do. But walking along the street, holding up my iPhone, talking into it, makes me feel very conscious of myself. Not that it isn't an unusual occurrence for other people. You see them walking around talking all the time. Half the time I think people are talking to themselves and I realise they've got these in and they're on the phone and I'm like, why is that person talking to themselves? And I don't know why I'm conscious. I'm getting better at it. Like if I go to a arts and crafts show, or I used to go to big cake decorating shows, I would walk around with my phone up and I would be doing a vlog. And I think in those scenarios, because I knew everybody in that exhibit or that function or that showcase possibly knew that I was a cake decorator, a cake artist, a crafter, a real artist. Sorry, that sounded really bad. A crafter or an artist. We're all real artists. That they accepted that that was just part and parcel of what people did. But to be in the street, or in public, just makes me feel very, very vulnerable. Like, I even get a bit picky about if I'm taking pictures of something that are inspiring me. I'm stood on the pavement pointing my iPhone up at something, taking a picture. I feel very conscious that someone's walking past going, yeah, plonker. Or someone's going to grab my phone or something like that. I don't know why I have this fear. I mean, when you consider I used to be an entertainer. I was on stage in front of thousands of people making a complete plonker of myself on a regular basis, or performing or lecturing or demonstrating. So the fear of being seen, for me, isn't the problem. I think the fact that the moment I, excuse me, I think the fact that I all of a sudden hold up something which singles me out as something in public makes me feel incredibly vulnerable. I know that when I say I go to the coast or I go for a walk in the park, sometimes I see people and they're sat down with a sketchbook. There are some people, even maybe we've got a really nice lake near me with wildlife and swans and all that, and there'd be someone there with an easel and they're sketching away. And human nature is everyone will stop and look at what they're doing. Sometimes they'll spark up a conversation. I don't want that. If I'm being creative, don't talk to me. Don't look at what I'm doing. I don't want to handle your perceived judgment of what I'm doing. And I know this is a me problem. It's not them, because normally the people who stop and talk to you or watch will instinctively go, "Oh, that's lovely. Or how long have you been doing that? Oh, that's beautiful. I wish I could do that." To me, that's not how I'm perceived. I'm like, okay, stop looking at me. I don't want you to see what I'm doing. So if I'm trying to even, like, okay, if you've known me for any length of time or follow me on social media, you know I very often go to the museum, because we've got a huge museum here in Cardiff, or I go to a coffee shop and I'll have a coffee and I'll have my planner open and I'll be working in my planner, because my planner is how I throw notes, I capture ideas, I will start with an idea and I'll expand it and I will use it in my planner. But I get very conscious because people are walking past and they'll look down at your planner. I'm like, no, this is mine. Stop looking, this is mine. This is my private planner. It's weird. I don't know that I can understand it. I know that when I go to the museum, or an art gallery, 99% of the time, if I go to the museum, I no longer need to ask this because I already know it. But if I go to an arts exhibit or a craft fair or an exhibition of some sort, I will always go to reception or the organizer or whoever and go, is it okay to take photographs and video? I always ask, because I don't want to upset anyone. And I as long as I've asked, I feel I have the right to capture. Sometimes the question will be is, why do you want to do that? Are you trying to copy designs? I'm like, no, actually, I run a successful YouTube channel. I'd like to film a bit and maybe then put your details on here to help you reach a bigger audience, because I like what you're doing. I'm inspired by what you're doing. Or I just want to promote the event I'm at. I don't feel a problem with that, because I'm putting on the mantle of maybe like a reporter or something like that. So that doesn't bother me. And I don't mind standing there with an electronic device, usually my iPad at that point, filming and recording. I'm very respectful of other people. If someone's going to be in the shot, I'll go, I'm going to be filming. Do you mind being this? Normally they go, oh, it's fine, just get my good side. But I always ask. It's like when I used to teach classes, I would always ask, as part of my beginning welcome speech was, does anyone here object to social media being photographed or videoed? And I would ask the question so that everyone in the room gave their permission or not, so that anyone who was thinking about doing that also had been given permission. And there have been scenarios, like I was on a foam stamp carving course about 6 or 8 weeks ago, and I asked the question, and there was one woman there said, actually, I prefer not to be. I went, totally fine, thank you. Do you mind if I at least capture your hands in a shot or something? She said, no, I just don't want my face in it. She said, I don't want someone to know I'm here. I went, that's totally fine. So I'm very, very respectful, because just because you're taking a picture does not mean you have the right to capture my image. And that probably harkens back to my TV days, where you have to sign releases and stuff like that if you want to use my likeness. That's probably me being a bit paranoid, because it doesn't really equate to the world I'm in now. But anything creative, unless I'm in a scenario where, say, I'm working on a trade stand and I've been hired for the day to demonstrate products on that stand, I am more than happy to do that, because people are coming to the stand. they look at me as a professional, they're expecting me to be doing art, and because I'm perceived as the professional or the expert, their perceived judgment of me is toned down, for me anyway. But yeah, you are not going to see me being out and creative in public. I mean, I just wouldn't feel comfortable. I mean, I know people go out and they do little watercolor works while they're out there. I'm not that confident in my watercolor stuff to let anyone see it, except when I let you see it on video, which is ironic. I won't do it in the park where 3 people might see it, but I'll put it on here where millions of people could potentially, or billions of people could potentially see it. I wish I could reach that far with my YouTubes. So how do you feel about it? Andrew, it was a very, very good question, and I just hadn't thought about that. Like, I know that, okay, I'm gonna put Andrew in a scenario now, and I don't know whether this is something he's ever done, to just go, this is a fantasy scenario here. So I can imagine, say, Andrew has gone to the Cotswold villages, which are beautiful Cotswold stone. Some will have thatched roofs and that, and he will probably sit on a bench, or maybe he's got one of those collapsible stools, he's put it down, and he's sat at the edge of this river, which is winding away in the cottages, and you know where I'm going with this, and he's sat there all day, and he's sketched, and he's watercolored, and he's captured the essence of the emotion, the sound, the feelings, even the stuff he hasn't put on his paper, he has captured with his senses. So when he looks at that picture in the future, it will bring all of that back to him. I'm jealous of that. I could never do that. What I would do is I would go to exactly the same spot that Andrew had been painting. I would stand in that spot. I would lift up my camera and I'd go click, take the image, come back to my studio. Then I'd paint the same scene, but I'd do it from my image, which means I haven't captured all of the sensory inspiration and joy that he has, but the stress and anxiety that I would experience trying to do that in public, I just couldn't do that. I couldn't do that at all. So anyway, as I said, this is going to just be a short little video. It's just, I'm wondering whether it goes further, actually. Wondering whether that's one of the reasons I don't do lives either. So I've gone down a rabbit hole here. I mean, I make videos, and I'm very confident of making videos, but I know when I'm filming a video, I always have the chance, and I do, edit. So I edit out all of the rubbish stuff in between, like the cleaning, or I've spilt something, spilled lots of things, or I've said something quite inappropriate, which isn't very often, I assure you. And I clip and crop to make, hopefully, my videos watchable. I need to start getting, my introduction talks are far too long. I've got to try and sort that out in 2026, because I get too wordy and I'm like, it's 5 minutes, we haven't even done anything arty yet, and I've just been talking. But I feel that it's all important information I need to put over there to set up what I'm about to create. I need to think that through. My brain needs to work that out. I've done lives where I've been interviewed or I'm talking. I don't think I've ever created an live. I obviously have never done a live of my own, and I'm probably very unlikely to do one, because my brain doesn't even work out how you point the camera at what you're doing, which will be live. Then you have your iPad or your computer to one side, where you can create and look at the comments and answer them on screen, and doing any editing, and that's just way beyond me. That's me overwhelmed at minute 1. However, I have committed a felon already. No, I have committed to, in the spring, I have said to Casey Street, who's someone I'd sometimes drop in to see. He does lots and lots of lives, and he does lives where he invites other creators there. So I think the most I've ever seen him do is he has 4 creators on screen at the same time, and their faces are not there, they're just creating. And I did say to Casey, I'd like to accept an invitation to that, and he said, yep, let me know when you're ready. It has to be in the spring or the summer, because the time difference between him doing it and me means it may be lunchtime for him, but it's the middle of the night for me. Do you know what I mean? So I have to deal with the whole lighting setup. But so yes, I will let you know when that's happening. I will almost definitely be working on my gel plate when I do it. So watch out for that. It's coming in the future. But as far as I hadn't thought about, I'm going to get paranoid about that now, aren't I? Good grief. Anxiety is a horrible thing. But I'm going to do it because I've committed and I've said yes. So I think I'm going to wind it up here, guys. Ooh, sorry, I just knocked you. So coffee with Ceri time. Coming to the end of the year, I will be doing coffee with Ceri next year in 2026. Don't know that it'll be a monthly event. It might be a bi-monthly event, because I'm trying to put new video topics and series in that are going to be far more interesting, or new and exciting and interesting. So thanks, guys. Thanks for the support this year, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye now.